You're retiring in 2 years. You've saved $1 million. You need $50,000 a year to live on. The question nobody prepares you for, where should that $50,000 actually come from? Each source has pros and cons that most people never compare. Some give you $50,000 a year but quietly cost you $200,000 over your retirement in hidden fees and taxes. Others give you $50,000 and let you leave $500,000 to your kids. In this video, I'm ranking the 8 most common retirement income sources from worst to best. I'll score each one on tax efficiency, flexibility, sustainability, and legacy impact with real 2026 tax math. By the end, you'll know exactly which income sources should fill each dollar of your $50,000 need. Let's rank them. Quick note, I'm not a financial advisor, CPA, or tax attorney. This is an educational ranking. Your optimal income mix depends on your specific tax situation, state of residence, health, life expectancy, and estate goals. Consult a fee-only financial advisor for personalized strategy. All figures use 2026 IRS tax tables. Let's go. Welcome back. This channel ranks financial strategies by actual outcomes, not by what's most profitable for the person selling them to you. If you're planning retirement income, this ranking could save you $200,000 or more. Hit subscribe, hit the bell, and let's start at the bottom. Starting at the bottom, rank 8, the worst retirement income source, your high-yield savings account. The pitch sounds great. Park $1 million in a savings account earning 4.5%, collect $45,000 a year. It's FDIC insured. It's completely liquid, and it's predictable. But here's problem 1. Every dollar of interest is taxed as ordinary income. The highest tax rates the IRS charges. If savings interest is your only income, the massive deduction shield covers it. But the moment you add Social Security or any other income, every dollar of that interest is taxed at 12, 22, even 24%. The tax character of savings interest is the worst possible. Problem 2. Inflation eats your real return alive. 4.5% minus 3% inflation equals 1.5% real return. Your purchasing power is barely treading water. Problem 3. Your $1 million never grows. It just sits there generating interest while inflation slowly erodes its value. Meanwhile, a diversified portfolio would have tripled. The verdict: a savings account is for your emergency fund, 6 to 12 months of expenses, not for generating retirement income. Let's move up. Rank 7, bond interest. Slightly better than savings, but still near the bottom. You invest $400,000 in bonds, earning 4.5%. That's about $18,000 a year in interest payments. Bonds give you predictable income with lower volatility than stocks, and you can ladder maturities so bonds come due at different times. But bond interest has the exact same tax problem as savings. It's taxed as ordinary income, the most expensive tax category, and the payments are fixed. $18,000 a year sounds fine today. But in 20 years, with 3% inflation, that $18,000 has the purchasing power of about $10,000. When bonds mature, you get your principal back, exactly what you put in. No growth. Over 20 years, stocks would have tripled that same money. One exception worth noting: municipal bond interest is federally tax-free. That's a different animal entirely, and we'll use it later in the optimal income mix. Verdict: bonds add stability to a portfolio, but bond interest is a tax-inefficient, inflation-vulnerable income source. Let's keep climbing. Notice how the bottom 2 sources are taxed at the highest rates? Watch what happens as we move up the ranking. The tax rates start dropping fast. Rank 6, non-qualified dividend income. And most people don't even know there are 2 types of dividends. There are qualified dividends, taxed at the special capital gains rates of 0 to 20%, and non-qualified dividends taxed at ordinary income rates, 10 to 37%. We're talking about the bad kind right now. Non-qualified dividends come from REITs, many actively managed mutual funds, bond funds, and stocks you held for less than 60 days. They're more common than most people realize. On $20,000 in dividends, the difference is brutal. Qualified dividends at the 0% rate, 0 tax. Non-qualified at 22%, $4,400 in tax. Same income, $4,400 difference. And here's the sneaky part. Many mutual funds distribute non-qualified dividends that show up on your tax return whether you want them or not. You can't control the timing. The fix is simple. Use index ETFs instead of actively managed mutual funds. ETFs are structurally more tax efficient and generate mostly qualified dividends. Verdict: non-qualified dividends have the same terrible tax treatment as bond interest and savings. Avoid them when possible by choosing the right fund structure. Rank 5. Fixed annuities. The most marketed retirement product in America. And there's a reason for that. Spoiler, the reason isn't your benefit. You hand an insurance company $500,000. They promise you $2,700 a month, $32,400 a year for life. The guarantee is real. You can't outlive it. And it's dead simple. Fixed payment, no investment decisions. But here's what the salesperson doesn't emphasize. The commission on a $500,000 annuity is $25,000 to $40,000, paid to the person selling it to you. That's why they're marketed so aggressively. Inflation is the annuity killer. That $32,400 is fixed forever. In year 20 with 3% inflation, it has the purchasing power of about $21,400. You get poorer every year, and your $500,000 is gone, locked away. Need it for a medical emergency? Too bad. Want to leave it to your children? If you die in year 2, the insurance company keeps the money. The opportunity cost is massive. That same $500,000 in a diversified portfolio at 7% returns would have grown to over $1 million too. The annuity gave you fixed income while the market doubled your money. Tax-wise, annuities get partial credit. Part of each payment is principal return, tax-free. But the interest portion is taxed at ordinary income rates. The blended rate is better than bonds, but the tax character is still ordinary. Verdict: annuities offer a guarantee, but at a steep price. Only consider a small annuity for baseline income if you're terrified of outliving your money. Never put your entire portfolio into one. Now we cross into the top 4, and this is where the tax rates start getting really good. Rank 4. We've entered the green zone. Qualified dividends and long-term capital gains. You have $800,000 in a diversified stock portfolio. It generates $20,000 in qualified dividends plus $15,000 from selling appreciated shares. $35,000 in total income. And here's why this ranks so high. In 2026, the 0% capital gains rate applies on taxable income up to $98,900 for married couples. That means your entire $35,000 in qualified dividends and capital gains could be taxed at 0%. $35,000. Zero tax. Compare that to $35,000 from bonds or savings, taxed at 12 to 22%. You'd owe $4,000 to $8,000 on the same income. Same income, $4,000 to $8,000 difference. And unlike annuities or savings accounts, your underlying portfolio keeps growing. That $800,000 could double in 15 years while continuing to pay dividends. You're getting income and growth simultaneously. That's the power of equity-based income. The cons: you need a large portfolio. Markets crash, dividends can be cut, and it requires the discipline not to panic sell during downturns. Verdict: qualified dividends and long-term capital gains are the most tax-efficient income you can generate from a taxable brokerage account. Period. Rank 3. Roth IRA withdrawals. If qualified dividends were good, the Roth is elite. The fundamental rule. Roth withdrawals add 0 to your taxable income, 0 to your adjusted gross income. They're completely invisible to the IRS. $25,000 from a traditional IRA adds $25,000 to your tax return. $25,000 from a Roth adds nothing. It's like it doesn't exist. And that invisibility creates a cascade of secondary benefits. It doesn't trigger Social Security taxation. It doesn't increase your Medicare premiums because it doesn't count toward MAGI. For early retirees, it doesn't affect ACA health insurance subsidies. And for legacy, it's incredible. Your heirs inherit the Roth and have 10 years to withdraw it, completely tax-free. The one real limitation: you have to build the Roth over years or decades. You can't conjure it at retirement. This is why we talk about Roth conversions so much on this channel. A $300,000 Roth at a 5% withdrawal rate gives you $15,000 a year. Zero tax. The effective return is the full 5% because there's no tax drag at all. Verdict: the Roth is the single most tax-efficient income source you personally control. The only things that beat it are things you don't fully control. Rank 2. Social Security. And this one might surprise people who think of it as just a government check. Social Security is a lifetime, inflation-adjusted annuity backed by the full faith of the United States government. When you put it that way, it sounds a lot more valuable. The average benefit at full retirement age is around $25,000 to $35,000 a year. But delay to age 70 and your benefit grows by about 8% per year. That's a guaranteed return no investment can match. And unlike fixed annuities, Social Security adjusts for inflation every year. Your $30,000 in year 1 becomes roughly $43,000 by year 20. It grows with the cost of living. Tax treatment depends on your combined income. For married couples, if combined income is below $32,000, 0% of Social Security is taxable. That's potentially completely tax-free retirement income. And this is where Social Security and Roth withdrawals form a perfect partnership. Since Roth withdrawals don't count toward combined income, pairing them keeps your Social Security in the 0% taxable zone. Here's a number that puts Social Security in perspective. To replace $30,000 a year from your own portfolio at a safe 3% withdrawal rate, you'd need $1 million. Social Security is worth $1 million portfolio. Add in survivor benefits, where the surviving spouse keeps the higher earner's benefit, and you've got insurance that no private annuity can match. The common worry, will Social Security still be there? Even worst-case projections show about 83% of promised benefits funded indefinitely. Congress has 70 million reasons to fix the shortfall. Plan for modest reductions, not elimination. Verdict: Social Security is the most valuable income source most retirees have. Coordinate it with Roth withdrawals, and it becomes borderline untouchable. Social Security plus Roth is the dream combination. But there's one income source that ranks even higher. Rank 1. The best retirement income source, the pension. Your employer guarantees $25,000 to $40,000 a year for life. No investment risk on your shoulders, no withdrawal decisions, no market timing. A check arrives every single month until you die. The reason pensions rank number 1 is simple. Someone else bears the risk. Market crashes? Not your problem. Live to 100? Still getting paid. Many government and union pensions include cost of living adjustments. Your payment actually grows over time, unlike a fixed annuity. And the pension's secret superpower, it frees your entire portfolio. If pension plus Social Security cover your basic needs, your investments can stay fully invested for growth. No withdrawal pressure, no sequence of returns risk. A $30,000 pension replaces $1 million in portfolio value. A $40,000 pension replaces $1.3 million. These numbers are staggering. The big caveat: most people don't have a pension anymore. Only about 15% of private sector workers have defined benefit plans today, down from 38% in 1980. If you're a government employee, military, union worker, or at certain legacy corporations, you may have one. For everyone else, we need to build the next best thing. Verdict: the pension is the gold standard. If you have one, protect it. If you don't, the combination of Social Security plus Roth plus qualified dividends is the best synthetic alternative. Now that you know the rankings, let's build the optimal income mix for someone who needs $50,000 a year. Here's how to combine income sources so you keep the most money in your pocket. Our model retiree: 67 married, both 65 plus, $300,000 in Roth, $200,000 in traditional, $500,000 in taxable, $25,000 from Social Security, no pension, needs $50,000 a year on top of Social Security. So the total income target is $75,000, $25,000 from Social Security, plus $50,000 from the portfolio. Source 1, $15,000 from the Roth, zero tax, the first and most efficient slice. Source 2, $15,000 in qualified dividends from the taxable brokerage at the 0% capital gains rate, zero tax. Source 3, $10,000 in long-term capital gains from selling appreciated shares, still within the 0% bracket, zero tax. Source 4, $10,000 from the traditional IRA. This is ordinary income, but we've barely used the deduction shield. Let's run the full tax calculation. Total income, $75,000 across all sources. What's actually taxable? Roth is invisible. Qualified dividends and capital gains are at 0%. Only the $10,000 from traditional is ordinary income. Social Security check. Combined income is $22,500, well below the $32,000 threshold. 0% of Social Security is taxable. Ordinary taxable income, $10,000. Deduction shield, 47,500. 10,000 minus 47,500 equals 0. Federal tax, 0. $75,000 in annual income, 0 federal tax, 0% effective rate. Now compare that to the wrong way, pulling the entire 50,000 from traditional. Combined income shoots up. Social Security becomes 85% taxable. After deductions, they'd owe about $2,500 in federal tax. That's $2,500 a year versus 0. Over 25 years, the unoptimized approach costs $63,500 more in taxes. Same income, same portfolio, wrong withdrawal order. Now let me show you 3 real scenarios to prove how much the income source mix matters. Scenario A, Sam and Pat, both government retirees with pensions totaling $44,000. Social Security adds $30,000. They need $80,000 total. Their pension and Social Security already cover $74,000. They need just $6,000 from the Roth. After their $47,500 deduction shield, taxable income is about $22,000. Tax, roughly $2,200. Effective rate on $80,000 of income, 2.75%. Sam and Pat's portfolio doesn't even need to generate income. It just grows for decades. The pension retiree's dream. Scenario B, Jordan. Single, 68, net worth of $2.5 million. Needs $120,000 a year. Social Security covers $36,000. Roth provides $30,000. Qualified dividends throw off $35,000. Capital gains add $19,000. Total, $120,000. 0 from traditional needed. After careful coordination, Jordan's federal tax is roughly $2,800. Effective rate on $120,000, 2.3%. Jordan is pulling $120,000 a year, paying virtually nothing in taxes, and the portfolio keeps growing. Scenario C, Riley, the late starter. Single, 67. $400,000, all in traditional. No Roth, tiny taxable account. Needs $50,000. Social Security covers $24,000. The rest, $26,000, all from traditional. Every dollar is ordinary income. Combined income pushes Social Security into the 85% taxable zone. After the $24,150 deduction, Riley owes about $2,500. 5% effective rate on $50,000. Look at this. Riley earns the least and pays the highest effective rate. That's the penalty for having everything in traditional with no Roth, no taxable dividends, and no income diversification. The lesson is clear. It's not just about how much you save. It's about where you save it. The account type you choose during your working years determines your tax efficiency for the rest of your life. If you're Riley, the fix starts now. Roth conversions during low-income years, even 5 to 10 years of strategic conversions, can dramatically improve your retirement tax picture. Before we wrap up the rankings, let me quickly flag 5 specific income sources that sound appealing but will cost you dearly. These products are marketed aggressively to retirees for a reason, and the reason isn't your benefit. Avoid number 1. Non-qualified dividends from actively managed mutual funds. The fund distributes $15,000 in ordinary dividends whether you want them or not. At 22%, that's $3,300 in tax. If those were qualified dividends, the tax would be 0. The fix takes 5 minutes. Replace actively managed mutual funds with low-cost index ETFs. Same market exposure, dramatically better tax treatment. Avoid number 2, reverse mortgages. The pitch sounds perfect. Access your home equity without monthly payments while staying in your home. The reality, 2 to 3% annual fees. On $200,000 borrowed, that's $4,000 to $6,000 a year in costs. Over 15 years, $60,000 to $90,000 in fees alone. Plus your heirs get a diminished home. Better alternative, a home equity line of credit. You pay interest only on what you borrow when you borrow it. Your equity stays intact otherwise. Avoid number 3, using your high-yield savings account as your primary retirement income source. We already ranked this dead last. Fully taxable, no growth, inflation destroys it. Keep 6 to 12 months in savings for emergencies. Invest the rest. Avoid number 4, structured notes and complex financial products. These are exotic bank products that combine bonds, options, and derivatives. Marketed as higher returns with downside protection. Hidden fees eat 1 to 3% annually. Returns are taxed as ordinary income. You can't easily sell them. And if you can't explain what you own in 30 seconds, you shouldn't own it. Replace with a simple index ETF at 0.03% in fees. Transparent liquid capital gains treatment. Avoid number 5. And this is the big one, variable annuities. Variable annuities have all the downsides of fixed annuities plus higher fees, market risk you thought you were avoiding, surrender charges lasting 5 to 10 years, and complexity so dense that even the salesperson can't explain every rider. The fees alone are devastating. 3% on $500,000 is $15,000 a year. An index fund charges $150. That's nearly $300,000 in excess fees over 20 years. The salesperson earns $25,000 to $50,000 in commission. The insurance company collects fees forever. The only person who doesn't benefit is you. If someone tries to sell you a variable annuity, run, not walk, run. All right. Let me give you a simple decision tree so you can figure out your own optimal income mix without paying a $10,000 financial advisor. Follow this tree and it automatically forces the right withdrawal decisions. Question 1. Do you have a pension? If yes, your foundation is solid. Pension plus Social Security likely cover most of your basic needs. Supplement with Roth for the extras and let your portfolio grow untouched. If no, you're in the 95%. You need to build your own income stack from your portfolio. Next question. Question 2. Do you have a substantial Roth IRA, $200,000 or more? If yes, withdraw from Roth first. $15,000 to $25,000 a year, zero tax, no secondary effects. This is your number one income source after Social Security. If no, start Roth conversions now. Even $30,000 to $50,000 a year converted at low tax rates now saves dramatically versus withdrawing at higher rates later. Question 3. Do you have a taxable brokerage account with dividend stocks? If yes, take qualified dividends and long-term capital gains next. In 2026, 0% tax rate on up to $98,900 for married couples or $49,450 for single. This is free money. If no, consider building one. Even a modest position in broad market index funds generates tax-efficient, qualified dividends. Question 4. Do you still need more income after Roth, dividends, and Social Security? If yes, use traditional IRA withdrawals to fill the remaining gap. The first $47,500, married 65 plus, is sheltered by your deduction shield. Stay within the 12% bracket for anything beyond that. The full priority order. Social Security first, Roth second, qualified dividends and gains third, municipal bonds fourth, traditional fifth. Everything else is last resort. Follow this tree and you automatically minimize your retirement taxes. No expensive advisor required. Let's bring it all together. The final ranking, worst to best. At the bottom, savings, bonds, non-qualified dividends, and annuities. High tax, low growth, or both. At the top, qualified dividends, Roth, Social Security, and pension. Low or zero tax, growth potential, and long-term sustainability. The math speaks for itself. An optimized income mix on $75,000 a year can produce zero federal tax. The unoptimized approach costs $60,000 to $75,000 more over a retirement. Your action plan in 6 steps. Calculate your income need. Claim Social Security strategically. Draw from Roth first. Fill the 0% capital gains bracket. Use traditional only as needed. And avoid complex products and annuity salespeople. 2 retirees with the same $1 million but different income sources end up $75,000 apart over a lifetime. The source matters as much as the balance. If this ranking changed how you think about retirement income, hit subscribe. Next week, I'm breaking down the exact Roth conversion strategy to transform your traditional IRA into tax-free income. See you there. Full disclaimer is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Nothing in this video constitutes financial advice, tax advice, investment advice, or legal advice. I am not a financial advisor, CPA, tax attorney, certified financial planner, or licensed professional of any kind. The rankings presented are based on general tax efficiency, flexibility, sustainability, and legacy metrics and may not apply to your specific situation. Your optimal income mix depends on your tax situation, state of residence, health, life expectancy, risk tolerance, and estate goals. What's best for one person may be different for another. Investment returns are not guaranteed. Past performance does not predict future results. Tax laws change frequently, and the 2026 figures used may not apply in future years. Interest rates quoted for savings accounts, bonds, and annuities are approximate mid-2026 figures and will vary by provider and market conditions. Before making any retirement income decisions, consult a fee-only fiduciary financial advisor and a CPA who can evaluate your complete financial picture. Be smart, do your research, and make informed decisions. Thanks for watching.